Hello and welcome to the Dressing Gown Diary. This is the preview show of the third round of matches of the 2014 Six Nations. I've had a few comments come in about who was that guy in the review show over the weekend. That was David Edwards. He'd had a long, hard night drinking with the Dressing Gown Diary, and I don't think he coped too well. Anyway, another question's come in from Mr. Andrew Clift, or as he's known affectionately by some people as Chairman Mao. He's asked, why are you so anti-English? I'm not anti-English, I'm anti-bad rugby. I still have a problem with Farrell and Mike Brown being class players. I don't think they've stepped up from being very, very good club players, but to being international quality players. As you know, many people that have watched the Dressing Gown Diary will know that I have an issue with Reece Priestland. So it's not an anti-English bias, it's an anti-rugby bias. So I hope that's answered your question, Mr. Mao. So moving on, what have we got coming up? Well, massive game tonight, and I will be present at the Millennium Stadium watching the Wales against France game. This is lining up to be an absolute epic. France on the back of 2 wins, which perhaps they didn't expect. Wales on the back of an absolute smashing from Ireland. Can they recover? All week, Gatland's been talking about whether the players can step up to the plate and move themselves forward. Are you looking at the end of your career? Gethin Jenkins, Adam Jones? Is there question marks over Sam Warburton? Oh, there's a lot of stuff to go on. And of course, you've got George North in the midfield. But they come up perhaps against the strongest midfield in the Six Nations with Bastiron and Fofana. Fofana probably is the most gifted individual playing in the Six Nations at the moment. He demonstrated that last weekend, 2 weekends ago against Italy. His change of pace, his skills, his ability to glide past players, that's going to be a challenge for Roberts and North, who've not played together traditionally in the midfield. I know they've played a little bit last weekend and they've had 1 or 2 other goes, but North is not a centre. So I'm sure France will look to expose that area of a weakness. They will have obviously watched the way Ireland played as well in terms of the line out and try to do the same thing. That's a strong element of French rugby in the top 14, the driving more. So I'm sure they will try and expose that again. Well, what's Gatland looking for? He's dropped Phillips. He wants a change of pace here. He's brought in Rhys Webb. He'll be looking to zip the ball away quicker. He'll give Priestland perhaps a half or 50 minutes. If you don't deliver, mate, you're off. On comes Dan Biggar. Dan Biggar, who's done nothing wrong. He stepped up last season in the Six Nations and matured through the season. And then suddenly he's left on the sideline by a guy, as you know, Dressing Gown Diary fans, I'm not a big fan of. I mean, the questions about the France as well I have. I mean, so far, they've had it, they were lucky to get the result against England, while I was very happy to see the result, and it threw wide open the Six Nations. It was a couple of lucky bounces. And I think also against Italy, their tries were scored on turnovers with individual brilliance. So that's not really a game plan to go forward. So it'll be interesting to see how they counteract Wales tonight. Moving on, obviously the next game is Italy against Scotland. Well, Scotland will be nervous about this. I think Italy have played well so far. They played well in the Millennium Stadium, and they certainly put up a fight away in Paris. So they've had 2 tough opening games. The question is, can Scotland really step up from currently scoring only 6 points in 2 matches, courtesy of 2 penalties? I'm not sure they can. I really fancy Italy to put quite a few points on the Scots here, because I see that they've got the platform to do it. They've got a strong pack. Clearly with Parise, they've got one of the best number 8s out there, and they are a very formidable team now. So I see them opening up and scoring a number of points. Well, a lot of you out there on the Dressing Gown Diary fans will be interested in my thoughts on the England-Ireland game. This is an epic. We're in a position here where come 6 o'clock on Saturday, there could be England and Wales fighting out for 3rd space. Or it could be that Wales have turned France over, England have turned Ireland over, and you've got 4 teams with identical records, excluding points, of 2 wins and 1 loss. Massively opens up the Six Nations. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, clearly, England have had a problem. Dan Cole is out. In comes Wilson. Can he last? Has he got the fitness to perform? Well, only time will tell. I think certainly the Irish pack is as strong as it's been for a long time. I mean, at the moment, they've got some of the great exponents in their positions. They've got Paul O'Connor, who's suddenly discovered he's having an Indian summer, isn't he, of a career. Brian O'Driscoll, who's coming to the end of it, but still playing very, very well. Sexton, guiding everything, caressing the ball into the corners. Epic direction of where he wants his players to go. And the other player that's, the two players in the pack as well, Kieran Healy, certainly strong. He's going to make it very difficult for the front row. And then you've got Omani, who at the moment is probably one of the best back row players in the Six Nations. He's gripping balls. He's there every time. He's very primeval in his play. He's industrial. But that's what you need to be. And the pack in the back row, attacking the ball, aggressive at the breakdown. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, England are going to try and stretch the game. Farrell, though, can he really stretch it? Sexton is going to kick to the corners. Ireland are going to look for the driving maul again. Can England counteract that? Can England front up? That's the big question. If they can get their pack moving, there's a chance there. I know the bookmakers are backing England as favourites, but I see Ireland sneaking this. And if they get a bit of momentum, they could take England completely out of the game. So, the last part is, unfortunately Freddie's not here, but Freddie's flutter for the weekend is quite a controversial one. I am backing Italy to win by more than 10 points against Scotland. At the moment, you can get 2-1 on that. Now, those of you who have watched the Dressing Gown Diary previously will know that so far I've got a 100% success rate in this tournament. I've backed England to win by more than 10 against Scotland, which they duly did for me. I can't remember what the first tip was, and that was a long time ago in the weekend, but I'm sure it was a winner anyway. So for now, this is the Dressing Gown Diary. I'll be back ranting on Sunday. You have a great weekend, and I do hope you manage to see 6 halves of rugby. Cheers, bye-bye.